Mhm. Aloha, gang. Sorry, I even have my poster up. I forgot to take it down, but that might be a good thing. We can start with that. Then I'll run into some real quick hey there, hi there's, and give the dog treats because they're already barking. Thank you, Chris, for doing your job. And also, hey there, how are y'all? Um, First of all, before we really get into this, and like I said, can say hi to y'all. This is Calvin. This is who we're going to talk about today. He goes by the nickname Bub. He's been missing now since August 20th. Today is September 9th. Gives you an idea how long. What is heartbreaking in this case is that he has three children at home. Okay. Ranging in the age, I'm not sure how the youngest is. Okay. I've seen pictures and also maybe preteen to teen. Okay. Somewhere in that area, to 18 years old, one who just turned 18. So they're children who are looking for dad to come home. Dad is what they know. He's a single dad. He's the one who's been raising them, getting them ready for school and all those things. And now he's not there. So if we can help get the word out, this is from Cleveland, Ohio, for all you guys in Cleveland area or in the general vicinity and region. 5'10", 190 pounds. And if you have any information, call 911. If you want a direct number, 216-741-2700, but 911 works. 911 will always get you. So I'm going to pull this down real quickly and let's see, here we go, and say some hey there, hi there's, and then we're going to get into discussing what I could find out about Bub, about Calvin. But we got a lot of people in chat, and I've been having a full discussion in chat heading into this. We had Kim in chat. Kim and I have been talking about the case, and then we had Cupcake popping. So, by the way, hi, Kim. Cupcake came in. Cupcake actually sent some information to me about Elijah. Those of you who are just over on Sleuth, she was actually streaming some stuff about it. A lot of you guys know the remains of a child were found fairly near where Elijah was from. And I think most of us have this gut feeling, kind of like with Caleb, that this most likely is him. We have to wait and hear what the police say. But I think in our gut, we know this is most likely Elijah. And for me, the hard part is, you know what, after so many months of someone being missing, you kind of, them being found, even if it's not alive, is closure. Family can move on, things like that. You can go after justice, but it's also never the end anyone wants. It's never that end any of us want. And so we'll definitely keep up to date. Okay, Cupcake is sending me information. I'm looking up information. As Cupcake said here, yeah, it was heartbreaking. Here it came. Although unconfirmed, all signs point to the sweet pea. And also, but yeah, now we can go after justice, plain and simple. So, and poor Kim's been having fun with Nightbot today. We've been talking about that. And poor Kim. I mean, anyone who's dealt with Nightbot knows what we're talking about. Nightbot is nothing but a pain in the rear end. Okole, as we say here in Hawaii, pain in the okole completely. Cluck, cluck, chicken lady, how you doing? You're putting together Lego set. Nightmare. I just, they're in the other room. I just finished 4 coasters that are all Nightmare related. I'll have to post them here. I think I posted them on Instagram, not here. I'll post them here for you guys. But they're so cute. I love it. I love this time of year as we go Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. It's just like, I love it. I love it. And who else we got in chat? We got In the Bushes. Hey, how you doing, my dear? Seal, yes, this one is actually new for most of us. I just found out about Calvin this morning. I happened to go over to Web Sleuths and I was kind of looking at different cases there, and I came across this, and from what I'm seeing, there's tons of information at the get-go. And then, like so many other cases, you hit about a 2-week time period and everything disappears, stops. I mean, there's no coverage, there's no nothing. And you know what? the person's still missing. And also, hopefully, we can kind of start stirring up some focus. And because these three kids are still missing dad, mom is still missing her son, brother is still missing his brother, and all. So, oh, okay, yeah, keeping them in. Oh, you love my puppies. You had a Maltese. Oh my gosh, I love these. I've had like six Maltese in my life. I love them. They're the greatest. Even the one who's sitting behind me right now, she has been curled up all. Well, Cassie's always right behind me. Cassie is the pain. Cassie's the alpha of the family. She's the smallest, but she's the alpha. And so, who else we got here? This was a new case for. Actually, guys, tell me. Put a one in chat if this is a new case to you. Put a two if you've seen this before. I know one of you had actually seen this case before. I did talk to you, but it'd be interesting how many others of you have heard about this case. And it's Thea. Love you, love you, love you, my dear. Those of you, just so you know, Siren, Thea, Robbie, and I are probably going to be doing a follow up fairly soon to the Hot Ones episode. I'm not going to say any more than that, but we've been talking privately in a chat about what can we do to top last time. And so we will see what happens of that. And talking about Robbie, there he is. Love you, Robbie. Mwah. Love you, love you, love you. And cluck, cluck, chicken lady. By the way, if you did not get to go watch Keki's episode over at Chicken Ladies, you gotta go. You gotta go. Oh my gosh, I made my mom sit through Keki's episode. Yeah, what can I say? Roberta, how you doing, my dear Roberta? And let's see. Is that about Ocean Tide's here? Hello, Ocean Tide, BC. Okay, here come the numbers. 1, 1, 1, 1. I think we've got almost all ones, except for the one person who probably did not hear the question, which is, have you followed or been able to do any research before on Calvin's disappearance before we came to this today? So, okay. Let's get discussing this. I do have a Google Earth thing where we can kind of go through that in a bit, but what I want to do is start with a video about this. Sorry, I thought I had it shared, and I did not have it shared. Of course not. Why would I do something like that? Okay, here we go. And light the beam. How you doing, my dear? I didn't even see. Did you? How you doing, my dear? Love you, my dear. Love you, love you, love you, love you. And also, let me see. Did I miss anyone else? If I missed anyone else, I am so sorry. Trying to go through the list, but if I missed anyone else, please let me know. Love you, my dear. Mwah, love you. And also, let's see. Here we go. So, Calvin. Calvin is a 37-year-old single dad of three, as I mentioned before. He is 5'10", 190 pounds. He goes by the nickname Bub. Okay. In fact, the hashtag the family is using heavily here is Find Bub. Hashtag Find Bub. He's from Cleveland, Ohio, and all of this seems to be taking place. When I did the Google Earth search and mapping out, everything is right in that vicinity. He was last seen August 20th. Now, before we get into this video here, I've got Sleuth. How you doing, my dear? Love you. And before we get into the video, something that I think is important in this case is everyone says that one of the important things in this case to remember is that Bub or Calvin is a creature of habit. Okay. This job that he disappeared from, he's literally been there almost a decade. This is not someone who ups and goes around or moves around or anything like that. This is a guy who has held the same job, okay, for almost a decade. He is a single parent of three teenagers, okay, preteen or teenagers. So, I mean, he's a dependable family man, okay. They were getting ready for his daughter's 18th birthday. She is heading off. She is now at college. She was getting ready to head out Okay, and they were going to celebrate her birthday. In fact, the day after he disappeared. Okay, the day they reported him missing was the day they were going to have a huge birthday party for her and a farewell, bye bye, okay, head off to college type thing. And he didn't show up. And that's when mom and the rest of the family is like, oh, hell, something, no. This is a creature of habit. He's very close to his family, to his children. It is, and that's the thing, Sleuth. He's very close to his kids. One of them, it sounds like his middle child, a young, young male. They talk about everything together. Okay, he would share locations. I mean, they knew oh my gosh, I will get me a green tea for sure. Yeah, spice up that thing. Thank you so much, Thea. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my dear. You can say thank you, Auntie Thea. Yes, thank you. Thank you, my dear. And they share, yeah. I mean, it's like me and my mom. We share locations with each other. We do all that. That's the level of connection in this family. And also, when he ups and disappears overnight like this, something is wrong. Yeah, Cupcake. When you're a creature of habit, your family knows when something's wrong. And he disappeared while he was at work. He had gone into work, and you're going to hear a little bit about this here, but to go real quickly through part of this thing, he had gone into work. The place he had been working is a pizza place. It's called Giorgio's Oven Fresh Pizza. It's in Garfield Heights area in Ohio. He'd been there, almost a decade as a driver. He had picked up a pizza for his kids, and he had taken that home. He dropped it off around 10 p.m. Okay, then he went back into work, and he was last spotted on surveillance video at 11:30 at night. That's the last he was seen before he headed out. Okay, he talked to his son on the phone. Okay, and we'll kind of go through this a little bit more detailed after the video. After that phone call, he disappeared into thin air. Okay, are there other things going on here? Yes, there. No one knows exactly where are the clues leading to right now. Okay, there's no real push on that. And we'll talk a little bit more. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and start this up. Here we go.
For their loved one to come home. A local man gone without a trace after he never returned from work. His kids and family say it's been silence, nothing but silence for almost a week now. Our Brittany Weir spoke with his mother. Brittany.
Brian, Brooklyn Heights police are desperately searching for 37-year-old Calvin Jones. They say he's been missing for almost a week after he was delivering pizzas in the Cleveland area. He is a single father with 3 children, and his family says he would never just leave them.
Bub, come home. Anything else we can work out. Come home.
Donna Ayers is a mother searching for her son. Calvin Jones, or Bub, she says that's what everyone calls him, has been missing for over a week. Jones and his 3 children live in Brooklyn Heights.
He's such an awesome father. His kids need him.
Last Tuesday, August 20th, Jones was working at Giorgio's Pizza on Harvard Avenue. He has been delivering pizzas for them for the past 10 years. According to police, Jones was last seen delivering a pizza to his own children. He then left his house and hasn't been seen since.
He left and nobody's heard from him since. Impossible.
Donna said she started to get worried when her son didn't show up to a cookout at her house the next day. The family there to celebrate Bub's daughter's 18th birthday.
Okay, gonna stop there. One thing I've noticed with this family is everyone in the family is involved in searching. Okay, this is not one of those cases where you have 1 or 2 people or no one. I mean, they're all sharing to Facebook. They're all sharing pictures. They're all being his voice. They're all in agreement that this is not him. Okay, they've come together. When I mentioned that, okay, a mom is missing her son, it's because of these interviews. Okay, on another interview, I'm not sure if it's on this one, you see his brother being interviewed. They are all stepping up and trying to speak and give him a voice right now to bring him home.
And big move to college.
He would not miss these events. The kids' first day of school, back to school, he would not miss these events.
The family then went to police to file a report. During the investigation, police found doorbell footage from a neighbor's house. It shows Jones' car pull in front of his house Wednesday afternoon. The driver sits there for a couple of seconds, but then drives away.
Why? He's got a whole driveway. It's his.
Now, can't remember if this one explains this. That video footage the next day, car parked there for 51 seconds. Later on, police have gone through that footage and they say it is not him. Now, the question is it definitely his car? Because it sounds to everything I'm hearing that it is his car there. But if it's not him in there, who is it? Who's in that car? Is it a male? Is it a female? Why would they go back to the house the day after? I mean, speculation-wise, your mind can go everywhere. But the facts are right there. Now, like I said, did they clarify it is definitely his car? It looks like it. Family's like, nope, that looks like his car, definitely. And okay, here we go.
His house. Why would he just park in front of the house, sit for 50 seconds after he knows that we're worried?
Brooklyn Heights police say they have been actively searching for Jones for the past 5 days, following up on every lead.
Everything counts. Every little thing. If you thought you seen him, tell somebody.
And police saying that Jones has several tattoos on both his arms and his legs. He also has a scar on the top of his head, and his left ear is pierced. Now, while police are continuing their investigation, Donna says that her and her family will continue to put up flyers so that everyone can see her son's face. Live in Brooklyn Heights, Brittany Weir, 19 News.
Okay, so that kind of gives you a real quick rundown. BC brought up about flock cameras. I actually learned they have a name. We hear about locations having video cameras for license plates and everything. Sorry, it's getting cold in this room. They do. And they are used in this case. At one point, they do see his vehicle after his disappearance. And we're going to kind of break down everything a little bit more now. But those license plate readers actually have a name. They're called flock cameras. And we'll kind of go over a little bit. I did a little research into flock cameras when I heard that term because I'd never heard it before, to be honest. So anyhow, so I've got his picture up there in the corner right there. And as we go through this, I will share out the poster that I have. I did do that poster before I found out that he does have a number of identifying features. I have not seen pictures of these features yet. I'm hoping I can get, if I do get in touch with family, and I am trying to get in touch with his family right now because it would be nice if there are any pictures of any of these tattoos, for example. We know a tattoo is something that it's a little harder to cover up. We can change, how we look in so many other ways. But if you all of a sudden see, for example, we know he has several tattoos on his arms and legs, and one of them is actually on his right wrist. I'm not sure if the inside or outside of the wrist, but it is Simba from The Lion King. So that's something very, very recognizable. I mean, this is the first time I've heard, in all the years I've covered stuff like this, of someone having a tattoo of Simba on their wrist. So hopefully there will be some pictures that we can share out of those things. And if there are, I can update the poster that I've already put together. In the Bushes is saying initial thoughts. It sounds to me like he got carjacked and somebody went by the house to rob it and realized that's an idea. That's an idea because I was playing around. I'm human. Of course, I'm going to speculate in my mind and I've got ideas and I'm trying to keep it in my head to the facts. But this one, when you have so little information to go on, we know what happens. The less information you have, the more the speculation happens. And okay, so let's go through this a little. Oh, last scene. He was last seen wearing, actually, in fact, let me pull this up where I can show it with you guys. Sorry, I did not upload this ahead of time, but let me do it right now. Sorry, gang. They do have family pictures of him. In fact, if you look at my thumbnail, you have a picture of his what he was last seen wearing. His mom should change the law. Oh gosh, yes. And the bushes, I would definitely agree with that right now because that is scary that they're going back. Did they go back to Rob? Did they go back out of feeling sorry if it's someone he knows and the kind of guilt feeling? Possible. Many different things on that level. Let me pull this up real quick window wise. Here we go. Okay. So this is what he was wearing at the time of his disappearance. This is the last picture they have of him. It's surveillance footage from the pizza joint that he worked at, as he was getting ready to leave. So as you can see from there, he was wearing a white t-shirt, black shorts. They said black socks. Yeah, it does look like, black socks and polo glasses. Okay, so a couple things there. As for tattoos, you could definitely see on the right arm, it looks like he does have a tattoo more on the right arm there. And his right calf does look tattooed also, the front of his lower leg. The tattoos are not described other than the one of Simba from The Lion King on his right wrist. There is also a scar on the top of his head. And as you can see, his head is pretty closely shaven. So probably fair, unless he's wearing a wig or something like that, probably easy to see. He also has his left ear pierced. So those are some of the identification type things, okay, that we can kind of keep in the back of our mind. And also these are some other pictures of him. And there we go. So we've got some of the tattoos showing there. So I suspect there's some pretty good photos of the tattoos. And also, but there we go with everything. So let's go back to this now. So all this started about 10 p.m. on the night of the 20th. Okay, August 20th, which, let me double check the day, what day of the week that was again. That was a Tuesday night. Okay, he had to work. Not a new jobber, and he'd been there for almost a decade and all. He was there picking up pizza. Okay, he picked up a pizza to take home to his family. He dropped that pizza off, headed back. It does look like a sleeve. That's actually a good point, Seal. It does look like more of a sleeve rather than just one thing. Tats down the arm. Yes, definitely. And usually when someone has tattoos on that level, you have pictures. You do have pictures. And also we'll have to see if we can get some more pictures of that. After dropping the pizza off at his home, he headed back into work, pick up new pizzas and stuff like that. At 11:30, he was spotted on surveillance cam, that picture that I just showed you. Okay, he got ready to leave. He made a phone call at that point to talk to his son. So he and his son talked at around 11:30 that night. From our understanding, the discussion that they were having was about, how do I get my little brother to go to sleep? He's refusing to go to sleep and I want him to go to sleep. How do we get him to go to sleep? This is, again, remember, we're right at the end of the summer break where kids are still kind of sleeping at weird hours and stuff like that. And also, the two of them talked. According to his son, there was nothing weird. It was a normal conversation. Again, this is that son that he talks to about, okay, I mean, they talk all the time. They have a great relationship. Okay, he tells his son wherever he's going, things like that. And so his son did not have any weird feeling about anything happening. They hung up. and that was it. He left the pizza joint. No one saw him again after that. Next day is when things start really rolling. Okay, the next day is, Wednesday, August 21st. Now, what made that day more important in general, other than the fact it was the day he was recognized not to be around, is, as I mentioned, his daughter was turning 18. She's getting ready to go off to college. They had planned a huge family party. He had done all the shopping for the food and stuff like that. Okay, and that party was scheduled for that day. Everyone came together for that party, and he didn't show up. Not only did he not show up, but there were no phone calls like, hey, mom, something's happened right now, and I've got to deal with this. Can you deal with the kids? Or something? Things that would have been normal for him. Okay, there was none of that going on. It was literally no responses whatsoever. I mean, just he didn't come to the party at all. Outside of that, there were a couple weird things that happened in connection with his car or his phone. So he had a phone. A decade job usually means doing a deposit at not. You see, that's actually a very good point there. Was the store closing at that time? And these are the questions that I'm sure the police have, and the police are working towards this. We know, Ohio and Cleveland deals with a lot of missing cases. So they've got practice in dealing with these things. I haven't heard anything from the family upset at how the investigation is going at this point. If anything, it seems like they're okay with how things are going, but that's a good point. Hey, Exotic Prairie, how you doing, my dear? Welcome, welcome. That's a question I don't know. I do know someone, when I was over on Web Sleuth, someone had done some research into him. And if it's the same person, there may have been some past issues in the past. No one's specifically gone into mom, what happened to mom. But good question. And that's the thing. There's so little. There's not even a Facebook group discussing this case yet. Okay, like for example, Misha, I mean, there's multiple groups where we're discussing cases. We're trying to figure out how should we search, where should we go. In fact, this Friday, there's going to be a meeting up in Kapolei for people to come together and kind of talk about what's the next step. Where are we going to search next? So that's happening actually this Friday. So at 11:45 the next morning, now this is the day of the party and everything. That's when we have ring cam. Well, actually, no, first, 11:45, there's video footage of his 2011 Chevy Impala, with license plate HGF 2869 and cracked window shield. So he has a Chevy Impala with a cracked window shield. Was seen on a flock camera on Broadway near McCracken heading westbound. So I'm going to pull up Google right now so we can actually look at Google Earth as we look at all of this right now. So here we go. Ohio right here. Let's zoom ourselves in so we have a better idea where everything is here. Okay, so where they live, from my understanding, Tim, how you doing, my dear? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Brooklyn Heights is the general vicinity of where they live. So that's down in this area here. The pizza joint is up here, right in Cleveland itself. And this area I'm talking about that the flock camera caught footage of his vehicle at the next day is here, Broadway Avenue and McCracken Road. So at 11:45 that day, well, actually, let's take it back a little bit. So he was at work the night before. At 10 p.m., he was over here dropping off the pizza. He headed back in here at about 11:30. We have the surveillance video. We have a phone call taking place, and then he leaves. The thought would be, of course, he'd head straight back here, right? And we don't know which direction. However, the next morning at 11:45 in the morning, there is flock camera footage, okay, of him on, let's see, just so I could say right here. Here we go. On Broadway near McCracken. So we've got McCracken goes this direction, if I recall correctly. Yes. McCracken goes kind of west east. Okay, okay, gives you an idea there. And he was heading westbound at the time. So looks like the car is here in this area heading west. My thought is, could that have been when the vehicle was heading over towards Brooklyn Heights? Because again, we know police reports showed that his vehicle was seen on local, nearby ring footage, doorbell camera, parked outside of his home for a period of 51 seconds, not even a minute. 51 seconds right in front of the house, then it pulls away. So is this that time? I'm not sure. I have not been able to find out what time the vehicle was seen outside of the house. So was that before 11:45 or after? It does make sense if it was after, because he would have been going west in that. Here's Garfield Heights itself. Okay, and we hear Garfield Heights mentioned a couple times here too. And next thing that we know is at 1:30 p.m. Okay, 11:45 heading this way. At 1:30 p.m., his cell phone pings for the last time. When it pings, he is on Broadway Avenue, okay, in Bedford. Okay, so Broadway Avenue, Bedford. I don't know exactly where, but it's this area. Yeah, in the bushes. That's what's really concerning me, is the fact that his car with someone else in it, okay, if everything we're being told is connected and correct, okay, someone took that vehicle and parked outside of his house. And it kind of, if the times work, okay, and that's possible. If I get a clarification on it, I'll let you guys know. But if that car was seen here, was going in this direction, and then headed back, yeah, in the bushes. Hopefully they change keys and all that. I agree. One of the things being mentioned recently, and I don't want to go deeper on this because you guys know how I feel about speculating with people specifically. There is some concern that he was recently dating a new girlfriend, and they are trying to find this girlfriend. They've been able to get pictures of her, but they're now trying to locate her, and I'm not sure if the police have been able to question her or not. They may have, and in that case, it's not even an issue. But it is, yeah, Kim, exactly. That when I kind of saw that drawing, okay, of directions, it is worrisome there. So his 1:30 p.m. phone, last ping, not heard from again. Now, at that time, was the phone, did it die out of no battery? Okay, was the phone maybe in his car at the time and was left in his car and it just finally died, maybe? Or was it turned off? We don't know. Okay, that's not something I've been able to track down whatsoever. However, during this day, they're having the party, and when he does not show up and family get concerned, they start making calls, I'm sure, doing everything that you would normally do. They're like, this is not the creature of habit we know. They made the phone call and they reported him missing immediately. They didn't wait a day, 2 days, or anything like that. They reported him missing immediately. And and that's literally all we have on this case. I mean, it's scary. My thoughts are police probably have a heck of a lot more information than we have, and that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Okay, I'll stand by that till my dying day. Yes, curious minds, inquiring minds want to know, but you know what? The police need to hold information, okay, tightly to the vest, especially if we're looking at a potential of a justice thing in the future. We don't know what's going on. As his brother said, we're hoping he is not returning right now because he's not okay of his own free will as compared to someone making that decision for him. But every day that goes by is one day longer. I mean, if you look at it, we're on the 9th of September right now. At we're at almost 3 weeks that he's been missing now. And there's no further informations on this. I'm hoping if we hear more about what I'm recognizing from this is perhaps family are out there searching, and maybe if we have people from this location, that's part of the reason why I'm covering this right now, is that if they're doing searches, I do think they have a GoFundMe, but I haven't been able to verify that. Okay, so I don't want to share it until it's verified that it is from the family, but it's not abnormal. Those of you guys who follow missing cases, when you have a missing loved one, it costs a lot of money to live from day to day. Okay, a lot of times you're not working full time because you are out there searching. You're out there pounding the pavement, putting posters up. So you are losing wages. On top of it, you're making posters. If you've ever made copies of posters, you know that costs money. You don't get those for free. Every now and then you luck out and someone donates, but that's it. I'm really hoping Ocean Tide that they do. And yeah, very sad vibes. But yeah, I'm really hoping they have more. The fact that the family, we all see regularly where families will come out and say, you know what, this is frustrating. We've been talking and we're not getting any responses. Okay. And you can feel their frustration at not getting any information, etc. And then you have other families that you look at them and you're like, they're comfortable. They're happy with the relationship they have with law enforcement. Misha's family, for example, they're working with law enforcement, CID, and they feel that CID is doing everything in their power right now to bring Misha and baby Armani home. Okay, I think it's the same case here right now, that they feel the police are doing everything. My big issue is right now that we saw all of this at the beginning, coverage, a couple different videos and stuff like that on the news, and now nothing. There was one of the local news channels did do I guess they have a like regular weekly missing person report type thing, which is basically sharing a poster and that's it. And they did that with him, Bub, which is great. It keeps his face out, but we need to push it even further. They have his route to see if someone has video. Hopefully someone checks before and that's a lot. We're at 3 weeks now. Okay. People's video is being recorded over regularly, and that's why you report immediately. I would rather a family member accidentally report someone missing and then later on be like, okay, they're here, we're good, than hold off and then video cameras are being reported over. Now, I mentioned the flock video. Let me ask you guys, how many of you guys had ever heard the word flock video? Yeah, flock camera. I had never heard it before. I didn't know what it was. I had to do a research. I do think from what I've saw, flock cameras cost about $2,500 a piece. And those are your license plate things. And they read all those things and find out what's happening. And that's when did it go from him driving the car? Okay. Did someone else meet him? I don't think we've heard anything about someone meeting him at the pizza joint. Was he closing up the place? Okay. As I think it was BC, or was it BC or was it in the bushes mentioned? At that time of night, on a weeknight, it's very possible he was closing up maybe. because 11:30 is getting pretty late for a weeknight for pizza. And also, maybe he was closing up for the night or something. 10 years. Yeah, you're the one who usually has some additional responsibility. So, was he up there at Giorgio's closing up? Did he meet someone? Okay. And then that person and him, something happened, whether it was something planned or something unplanned. And we see that happen regularly. Um, was he okay as they were driving here? Okay, let's go back here. You're leaving. Let me come here, pull out. Okay, here's Giorgio's right here. Okay. All of these locations have to have cameras. There's got to be traffic cameras in this area. Okay. So, was he driving? Can they get video footage proving that he was the one driving? And at what time do they start recognizing he's no longer driving? Is the first time they recognize that outside of the house? Okay, I have heard the flock cameras do not do really good at identifying people in the vehicle. They're better about looking at the license plate than looking at what's inside the vehicle. But let's take a look here. How many of these places may have had cameras pointing out towards the street? You got a McDonald's right here. Okay, if he went that way, well, he probably, though, looking at this, he would have come over here, probably gone into this. So, yeah, probably went more this direction. Okay, but he had to drive by quite a few different smaller streets before he got to any of the interstates. So there has to be some good video footage out there to grab onto. You just hope, depending on what was his normal way home. Okay, if he lives here, down here in Brooklyn Heights, in this area down here, okay, what houses would he have passed by? Would he have gotten on the highway and been down here on, okay, 176 until he got down, or did he come up here to 77? Those are the things hopefully the police are looking at and trying to get a better idea. I can't help but wonder who was in that vehicle outside of their house. Was the video footage enough to show female versus male? It may not be easy. It may not be easy. Okay, it depends on what were the glares like, things like that. Did you have, okay, those types of things happening? But who knows? And what we do know right now is he's still missing. No one's heard from him since 1:30 in the afternoon, the day after his disappearance. Okay, what, 12, 14 hours after he was last heard from, his phone dies or is turned off, one or the other. We don't know which. And all. So let me pull up real quickly his. Let me just pull this up real quickly because I do want to make sure that we keep his picture up here. Okay, here we go. So we'll see. I'm not totally sure where we are with this right now. I'm hoping that we'll hear more from his family. If we hear anything additional about GoFundMe's, about searches, because I'm sure we're at the point that there needs to be additional searches. You reach this point, and unfortunately, police don't have the time to be doing grid searches and stuff. And this is a city on top of it. What they're doing probably right now is posting as many posters as possible. And as we've seen just from this, there's multiple locations that need to have posters posted. It's not just around Giorgio's and around his home area, but there's this whole other area, okay, where his car was seen. Okay, yeah, it's not a rural area. None of this is rural. Many people had to have had a chance to see. And the fact that he was out or the vehicle was out during the day. This is not something that it was like everything happened at 3 in the morning or something like that. His vehicle was seen during the day in a fairly congested area. Okay, very popular area. It's got to, people saw it. People came up at a stoplight and were right next to that vehicle. And if they happened to have looked over, they would have known who was in that vehicle. But they need to be connected to. They need to see a news story, or they need to see a poster to be like, oh, yeah, I did see that vehicle. I did see someone. I'm hoping the police can talk to the girlfriend, because she may have additional information. Not saying she's guilty or something. That's not what I'm saying. But every person who's connected to a person who goes missing has information that may help. Okay, what had they been talking about recently? Okay, did he have any other issues that he was going through that maybe he didn't talk to his family about, but he talked to her about? All of those types of things. So I'm hoping they were able to connect about that. Mama Bear, how are you doing, my dear? And I'll welcome. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm really hoping they have some more information. I'm hoping the family feels like they've got a good hand on things. And right now it's just sharing the news out. So as for the rest, Cupcake, thank you for sending the information earlier with Elijah. All of us are sitting here waiting right now to find out whether or not Elijah, the child that was found at the campgrounds, was that little Elijah or not. It's horrible to know, but we also, unfortunately, and this is just the way it is, when you don't have a remains, it makes it harder to get the justice that's needed. Now, like Sleuth said in her live, and I know I'm kind of going off on Elijah right now, how long it's been. Okay, we're talking over 6 months. It's going to be hard to find a cause of death. It was like Caleb. They could not get a cause of death for Caleb because of how long had passed. Okay, and the degradation of the remains, which does hurt that chance. And but it's still a piece of the puzzle which will help, because those, just saying it, okay, those two people and what they were doing to make a man out of this poor little kid, okay, he deserves justice. And chances are, my gut is saying, I think all of our guts are saying that it's most likely is Elijah and everything. So, but it's like the case with Ariel. We don't have her remains. And as long as you don't have those remains, you can go after, okay, a case. And you can say, yes, that was murder, because all the red flags are showing as murder. But you know what? Red flags don't convict. You've got to have the facts. And that's why I try to keep us pulled back to the facts here. And by the I got a jury questionnaire and all that the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, what would the chances be? But anyhow, and Elijah, yeah, poor bit, what he went through. And it's sickening. It's sickening what people will do. All in, yeah. What was that in the bushes? He was also in water. And see, that's the thing. You got different cases and different reasons. In the case of Caleb, he was in water. He had chemicals from chemical treatment. Okay, we know where he was within the sewer system and all that. And that's going to affect the remains. That's going to affect any chemical and toxicology results that are going to come back. Now, in the case of the remains of this child, okay, depending on the age, and that's going to tell them a lot too. If you're getting the remains of a child and they look like they're 6 months old, okay, the remains have been there for that long. It's I think that's why so many of us are kind of like, this is getting that feel. This might be him. And but even with that, depending on how they were disposed of, things change. You may be talking skeletal. There may not be. Now, hopefully there are things like hair and all, but hair is not going to show a lot of the stuff. Okay, unless injuries go down to the bone, you aren't going to be seeing a lot of those things. And that's what's frustrating. It's really frustrating to see it happen. Mama Bear, you were listening to, yeah, Sleuth had a great, oh, you had a dental fog. I got to go back tomorrow. One of my crowns needs to be cemented. Yeah, got loose overnight. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go back. So, but in the meantime, though, guys, yeah, so we'll keep doing updates on that. As I mentioned, Misha's case, we are still looking. They are looking, her family. There is such an amazing group of people. And let me see if I got the picture of it, who are going out daily for searches, trying to find her. On Friday, there's going to actually be a meeting for locals to come together. We're doing potluck, where we can figure out what do we do next. Guys, this may be an island, but there's so many places you can hide the remains of someone. And so, well, I'll let you know of any updates on that. I'm thinking of being there. I did RSVP for it. It's 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and I've got to be in town the next morning by 6 a.m. So we will see, but I really want to be there because it's trying to get the word out right now at every event and all that. So, but anyhow, yeah, justice for Elijah. We'll see how that. Oh, God, I wonder what those two, what Mom and Vang, Jesse Vang, thought the moment they heard that remains had been found. What was going through mind when they heard these comments on the news? Because you know good and well, okay, if you're in, they knew from the news right away. So anyhow, I am going to get going. And I will let you know later on whether Sleuth and I have been so busy lately, but we will see if we have time for Friday this week. Sleuth, you and I need to talk about that. If not, maybe I can figure out a way that I can come on or something. We'll figure something out. So, but because I miss having our normal talk stories with each other. So, I will talk to you later. I am going to share this poster out tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Okay, around noon tomorrow, I will actually share this poster out. I want to give a chance to his family to connect with me just in case I can update it with like a picture, a more detailed picture of his car or the tattoos or something like that. But if I don't have any more updates, I will definitely share this one out so we can get that information out. Cassie, you want to say goodbye? You just keep jumping up and down. You want to say goodbye? Say bye-bye. Thea, thank you for the donation. I really appreciate that big time. I will have fun with some iced tea. Actually, I am putting together a laptop fund. So I need a new, desktop actually. I want to get a desktop actually this next time. So I need to put all that towards that. So anyhow, thank you. And yes, don't even get me started on it. Why are you shaking? You want attention, don't you? Yes. Okay. Anyhow, talk to y'all later. Aloha, guys. Mahalo. Please keep an eye out if you're in the region for Calvin. If you're not in the region, please help thumb up this video. Share it if you can share it. There's another video out there by another creator. Share theirs out. I don't care which ones you share out. Just share out so we can spread his story. Because that's what's important right now is getting him home to his 3 children. And love you all tons. Aloha. And yeah, mahalo. Okay, bye guys.